Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, the braking point is the 100 meter board. As soon as I pass it, I'm applying the brakes, and this is a heavy braking zone. But it's a braking zone that also has a huge trail braking part, because you're reaching peak pressure, but then your apex point is just around the corner. So at this point you're not even seeing it because you have this green wall, green and white wall, but you want to apex late and you want to apex close to this curve, but at the end of the curve. So if you're gonna apex right now where you're seeing it, you're gonna run out of track on the exit. You want to delay the moment that you're gonna meet the white line on the right side and the curb, and whenever you're waiting for that moment, you should be on brake. So still trail braking, still braking, still braking, and just around here when you almost meet the wall is the moment that you're gonna apex. Now if you're gonna go on this curb on the right side, you're gonna lose time. So you really want to be at the white line, you see, and rotating the car at the white line, but not going over the curb. It's important to do that because you can be a bit earlier on throttle like I did here. So it looks that I have just a tire width between the curb and my right tires, and I found this to be the better line. If I were closer a bit to the curb, I would have had to trail brake just a bit more. So in this case I managed to carry a lot of speed. For the next corner I mount this curb, so I'm using almost the grass at turn in, and almost when the curb is ending I'm applying the brakes and I'm downshifting and I'm aiming at this next curb. So I want to mount it and put my tire on it, and it's important now that in this transition between this corner and the next one I will arrive at 100% throttle. So right now I'm at 100% throttle, and whenever the road is going a bit down, like right now, I'm applying the brakes and I'm pointing the car almost straight into this wall because I want to trail brake and just use this this part of the track, the higher part of the track, and being on throttle on the whole period. So whenever you're dropping the brakes, just be on throttle, and as confident you can be on throttle, the more speed you're gonna carry. Now again, it's important to have this 100% transition between the corners. I found that if you're gonna be a bit lazier on the throttle here, you're gonna lose a lot of time. And it's important to make this braking point as late as possible. In my case, I could have braked just a bit later because look, I have here just a bit more space to the white line. So you should meet this white line using all the curb on the exit. And now this is a big straight up until the next corner, which is a blind corner. And for the braking point, I use this. You can see the 50 meter board and this curb on the left. As soon as I pass this curb, in between this curb and the exit road on the left, this concrete exit road, I'm applying the brakes. So it's in the middle of it, but you can use as a reference first this curb, and then as soon as you pass it, apply the brakes. When you turn in and brake, you want to be at the white line, almost touching this grass, to open up the next corner, and you have to trail brake a lot. So still braking, still braking, still braking, still braking around here, and then be back on throttle because you want to meet this curb and you want to be as close as you can to this curb, even using it with your right tires. This will give you the exit that you want, so you're going to use all the track. And for the next corner, you see here that there's an S in the white line. It goes like left, right. You want to position your car on this part when turning in for the next corner. So I'm cutting this curb to go straight to the point in which the road opens up, and I'm positioning myself to this white line right now, and I'm braking and turning at the same time, almost using a bit of grass on turn in, and I'm downshifting on the way to the apex because I want the rotation to be as close as I can to this orange sausage curb without touching it. So I touch it a bit, but it was not the end of the world. Ideally you want to be just hugging it, but this is better than missing it completely. So if you're gonna apex at the white line, this is not gonna be good. You want to be as close as you can to the curb to carry the speed, be immediately back on throttle. And the next corner is tricky because there's not easy to find a good reference for braking. In my case, what I use is mostly based on feel, but you can use this 50-meter board because I brake at the 50. I'm not looking at the 50 though, I'm looking on the right side. But if it helps you, you can take a quick look at the 50 around here. And whenever you think you go past it, brake. But don't look on the left when turning right. This is usually a mistake. So try to look at the 50 before the corner and try to anticipate whenever you're gonna go past it to apply the brakes. It's important to use this left curb when braking, like right here, to open up the corner. And it's also important to go very close to this curb because this is a compression zone and this is a place in which you have a lot of grip, and you should be early on throttle and confident on throttle, like going from 0 to 80% throttle quite quickly and then building up to 100. Now for the next corner, you just want to position as soon as you can to the right side. I don't go as close as this exit road here, so you see I have just a bit more space. I don't think it's worth it to push that car that much. I think you will lose a bit of time if you exaggerate it and go to the white line. So it's, let's say, 3/3 of the road to the right, then braking and turning at the same time. And this is tricky because here you won't have grip just because of the nature of the track. This is a bit of uphill and you won't have that grip, so just have to modulate the throttle and modulate the brakes. You can't be on 100% throttle, you see. You have to wait for it and then be back, but stay as close as you can to the curb and use all the exit. Now for the chicane, my braking point is before this curb. Before this curb I'm applying what looks like 90% brakes, and then using this curb on entry, putting your tire on it, turning, and again you want to be as close as you can to this right sausage curb. However, I turn in a bit too early here, so because of that I get pushed a bit too wide around here. What you want to do instead is to turn a bit later for this corner. So this turning point is a bit too early. Try to aim at turning at the end of this curb on the left side, on the white curb. If you're gonna turn from here and you start the rotation from here, it's gonna be a lot better. This is something that I did as a mistake. Now, in the middle of the corner, I'm downshifting to second and I'm using all this curb to rotate the car. It will hook the car up nicely for you. And for the last corner, my braking point is this compression zone around here. There's a dip in the track around this point, and whenever I feel the dip, I'm applying the brakes. And it's important to trail brake into this corner because you want to move the weight from the back to the fronts and you want to have grip to the front tires. If you're gonna let go of the brakes right now and just drop it very sharply, you won't make the corner. You have to trail brake up until you get closer to this curb, and then at this curb be back on throttle, using this curb, and now it's just a race to the finish line. But in short, that's a track guide for Zandvoort. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you on the next one.